This session is APT attribution and DNS profiling with our lovely host and speaker, Frankie Lee. Thank you, and please enjoy.
Okay, welcome to the section of APT attribution and DNS profiling. First of all, I just want to tell you in my past year, I find how difficult to do the APT attribution and answer the question of who wrote these cookies. Sometimes the TTP, the tactics, technique, and procedure is quite important, but it's tough to find the information about this. In my past year, I tried to identify what's the behavior of the APT adversary, but I only have a small amount of sample. I don't get the full details. Maybe some of the behavior that I identify is my assumption or hypothesis. And then I will show you how can I get the DNS or what is the human intelligence information from there. Next, I'm going to show you how I gather the intelligence from open source. And then later on, I'm making use of the passive DNS and making use of the passive whois to find the adversary. After I gather the database, I try to show it on Meltigo, which is a tool can visualize the relationship between the data that I collected. If time is allowed, I will show you our newly published tool in Google Cook called Melpova. So who am I? Obviously, I'm a Chinese in race. I'm from a place in China, but not so China. I'm a Sunday researcher in malware analysis and digital forensic. I do some part-time lecturing. I'm a lazy blogger. For those who read my blog, you will understand that I only publish one article once a year. Obviously, I'm not the PLA. I'm too old. I'm not PLA 61398. I'm not related with Manian. Also, I'm not associated with the PLA 61486 or CrowdStrike or Title Global. So the term of APT flowing around since 2006, I think, in US force, it being hit up in 2010 by the case of the Operation Aurora. And right now you can find this term everywhere, even in the brochure of China Enterprise Company. Further disclaimer, I'm not going to provide any opinion or the latest indictment or yukban of the clock tower. If you don't understand this term, you won't ask me question. If you want to ask me any question, don't ask me, maybe ask Jason. Go back to the main topic. From a personal opinion, I think APT attribution is only related with the law enforcement or the intelligence agency. My friends in Hong Kong told me they spoken in Black Hat before. There will be a lot of CIA, FBI, NSA, Homeland Security people coming to listen to my talk. So maybe I will block in the US soil, cannot come in. But thank you, I can come in, except the TSA people nearly blocked detained my bell. So if you have source code, APT source code, it is not difficult to do the attribution. If you're only concerned about the string contained in the window binary or human readable data, maybe you can find Chinese character inside these binary. It is not hard. However, if you want to make sure the certainty of the attacker group, I think it is almost impossible unless they make some mistakes. So my research in the past year try to answer original research topic idea is try to find the terms of who wrote these codes. So I go to internet to do some research. There's some kind of source code attribution of window binaries. or attribution of malware, or even some magic things called attribution of APT by digital DNA. The term stylemetry refers to the application of attribution of authorship by coding style. It is AKA of the writing style. If you have source code, maybe you can scan through the command or coding crumbs. There's a tool they released in the internet called JStyle by comparing unknown document with known candidates' author's document. However, this is not a solution for us because APT usually is only dropper or the exploit. It is binary. In 2012, from Science Institute Gold paper, a guy who published a paper discussing how to gather the PE header information, extract that, they call artifacts, and categorize them. That comes from a big sample, not only APT. Another company in Taiwan, which is another China, in 2012, they announced they have some kind of surfaces to analyze and extract the technical and contextual attributes, they call genes, from different layers to group the malware, but not the person. Also, up to today, I still find the terms of digital DNA. They claim that, a security company claimed that they have proprietary reverse engineering and behavioral analysis technique, but they don't tell me, or maybe they don't tell everybody. I don't know whether their classification is correct or not. So PE header, I don't want to talk too much, but basically you can grab some information from the binary. This is wonderful illustration by the Taiwan company. They classify different layers, such as exploit concept, malware concept. Obviously, the PE is one of their elements. They take it out from the binary. Also, they are concerned on the network concept about the CNC, IP, and domain that I'm going to talk today. After that, they may gather the information by some program code and then make some hash or something. They classify it as called APT genes and display it into a graph. Later on, they store it into a database. Tactics, technique, and procedures, TTP. This is the term that when I watch a video from Black Hat day back to 2010 by Gary, his title is called Attribution, Tracking Cyberspace and Digital Criminals. He claims that the forensic trademarks that we can take out from the raw data, he classifies into 3 different layers: network reconnaissance, developer fingerprints, and TTP. I love this word a lot. And he further say that these 3-layer TTP should carry the highest intelligence value for identify human to catch the guy. But he also point out that near impossible to identify the human actors with definitive intelligence. He put the DNS at the lower end of his diagram. So what is TTP? Are there any military guys here? Any Air Force or Navy SEAL? Obviously, I don't find these people here, and I don't have a friend belongs to military. So I am thinking that it should be some kind of behavior analysis of the adversary, but because my background is forensic, I tend to use an old word called modus operandi. If that is the case to refer TTP, it is some kind of method of operation, the habit of working. So it must be related with human. It is human influence factors. Another diagram I love a lot, that is from David's blog. He also put domain name and IP address at the lower end, TTP at the top, and you will find that it is tough. So what I find the TTP and the behavior from my limited 20 examples, I try to go through the APT life cycle. You can find similar things in the internet or any documentation or brochure from the security company. I try to find the red dot, which is related with human reconnaissance or the lateral movement. But I'm not successful, I'm failed. Here, these following two slides, that is my assumption or my feeling that the APT actors, they are doing. My assumption that they are classified into two groups. One group is related with the intelligent analysis on the APT actor. Another group is technical guys. And also within the technical guys, they may split up two sections or two parties. One is for doing the exploit and sending out the spear phishing email. Another part may be doing some infrastructure. Let me call them infrastructure guys. And my assumption that they want to take control of domain names, so they register domain every day, or maybe 1 or 2 days. Every time they register the domain, more than 10 domain a day, or more than 100, I don't know, but I'm guessing they're using the domain under control. They do the registration themselves. When naming the domain is difficult, so they are not using some kind of program code to randomly to register the domain. I may assume that they are using Chinese pinyin. I think I saw quite a lot of Chinese right here. Pinyin is a Chinese language. In Mandarin, you can use it. For example, if you understand pinyin, PY means pinyin. LP means 老婆, that is wife. NM may refer to beautiful girl, 美女. So for Western people, you don't understand the meaning of the domain name. Later on in another slide, we show you something like that. The next step, I assume that they prepare DNS and IP pair. And further, I assume that they may use some friendly ISP to rent a small portion of the CCAS address at the location or the domicile of the victim group. And then they put the domain name and IP address along, depends on what campaign they're using. And then they put more than 2 DNS names inside their exploit. The meaning they want to make their malware, once infected, it must be redundant. If one DNS being locked down, the another will comes out in becoming active. The next step is quite normal, spear phishing email and launching the malicious attachment. Once the exploit dropped, it will further download something, but before that, it will say a hello message and send the basic information to the C2 server, or maybe C2 proxy. Don't think that IP address related with the DNS must be malicious. And later on, the intelligent guy may come in who knows the victim group to reveal the information collect through C2 portal. And then the infected machine may be send back some document, depends on what option that the intelligent analyst try to get through from the malware. So when something happens, for example, if law enforcement jump in, they lock down the machine of the C2 server or C2 portal, the attacker guy may change the DNS name. So that is the logic that I am assuming. They are not following the fast truck services just like the Honeypot project. The IP address and domain name are quite static for the APT attacker from my experience. So what kind of human intelligence that I can extract from the DNS, domain name, host, and parted domain. The parted domain is the IP address when the people who registered a lot of domain, they temporarily need the first IP address to park the domain on the IP address they can control. So the whois record may provide quite reliable information in the first instance because the first registration, they may use a valid email address. And they use a generic name, a special name to classify what kind of domain they are registration at a particular day. So my work is very, very simple. Everyone can do that by command prompt. So extract the DNS. I don't do the code analysis because of time. I just put it in my own sandbox. Don't send the malware to the public surface, otherwise that will alert the attacker. So I do the lookup, reverse lookup, and find the IP domain, park the domain, and then go to find who it is and gather the information, put it in database. Later on, repeat the process after a while. This is one of the logic when I prepare the tool called mail profile. I don't want to go through in details right here. And after that, I try to query the information from the internet. First two is free. The others really, they are charging some of your money. I know why APT is state-sponsored, because you need a lot of money. I paid $99 to get 87 domain names from Domain Tool. Someone should repay me. Another IP address, another website, bgp.he.net, it is very good. It allows you to query 200 times a day, I think. If you pay $100, you can get 2,000 query a day. Do you find any pinyin domain name here? Or anyone find some very interesting mistake here? Maybe you can find, if you look more carefully, you can find my0day.com. Interesting, right? In the fifth column, on the second one. So other than the normal DNS that I collect from the sample, I try to query the passive DNS, and I'm thinking, can I get the passive who is? So I don't want to talk about the passive DNS, but it is some kind of technology that we construct the zone replica without cooperation of the zone administrator. So I pick VirusTotal because they provide me an API. They don't charge me a lot. And actually, they don't charge me. I'm not querying that much. This is one of the example, the DNS, the fast BACGOLP.com that I got on the first sample, and you will find two IP addresses below that with a particular time. So I try to find passive whois, but not successful, and I have the whois history, some whois history from who.is. So this is one of the two samples that I gather, and so that I can try to coordinate the relationship between them. After I collect everything from my tool, and I put it into Meltigo to do visualization. You know that the Meltigo can query from the internet, but I create my local transform and to try to using Meltigo to query my database. This is one of the sample I call overprotect. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is not definitive. It is my only intuitive view on the APT. If I can continue monitoring this whois server and DNS pair, I may gather a very big size of the database, which is filtered related with the narrow target. And after that, and I think the intelligence may lose if the attacker changed the TTP. Especially today, when I publish something here, they may change. But in the past 2 years, since one of the report released in 2013, they are still using the same things. The TTP are related with cultural background, such as the pinyin they are using. Maybe my analysis is not working for the Pakistan people. So the intelligent collection process may need to adjust in order to that kind of change, and the analyst should have the cultural mindset of the attacker group. Is attribution and certainty possible? As I said, it is almost impossible. It's hard. But the TTP should carry the highest intelligence value. And if I draw a line for the certainty from 0 to 100%, I'm not saying that my analysis should put to the high end. It must be any analysis, any way to take out the information related with APT should lie between that. But it's not easy to have the 100% conclusion of 100% that who is the attacker. And one point is very important, because the TTP and tool can be learned. If any copycats coming out, the grouping is not reliable for my own will. I even read a paper promoting a framework called OpenAPT. So if you want to be an APT attacker, download that program, that document, and you follow the pathway, you will be one of the APT actors. The final things, I think this kind of information is not shared enough. Those big companies, they do have a big database, they have sample, but I don't. I can't do more on the analysis. But if this information can be exchanged through the intelligence community, it will be good. So the tool is simple by two parts. One is called Malpova script, which is the script that I've written quite lousy. I try to get all this information from the internet, and I don't want to pay a single dollar afterwards. And based on the data I collect, I use my own Maltego local transform, which is also published in the Google Code, help me to do an analysis. This is original script that I'm using, the original script called getAll, but later on we changed the name called Malprofile. Thanks for my friend Kenneth and Eric who update my messy code into class. If you are interested, you can download it and get the information from there. And I think in the future we can get more intelligent. If I find more TTP from the attacker, I will add some more plugin inside to locate the possible attacker. If you are interested, you can contribute to our project, contact me or Kenneth. This is our newly published tool. I want to show a demo, but I don't have time, but I already upload to YouTube. Just type Malprofile Black Hat. You can check my video, which is the database coming from the database that I collect from my 20 examples. So it seems I don't have sufficient time to show it right now. Thank you, and Q&A.